Okay, so yesterday we basically introduced the project. We finished up with pandas. So we introduced the project, where we talked about the company. We introduced what the overarching goal, who our team members are, and who our executives are. And we defined the business objective for this particular project, which was to understand the nature of bike usage between the annual members and the casual members. And with this understanding, we are to create and introduce a strategy to increase the numbers of annual membership. So like always, before we start our analysis, we have to import the libraries we are going to use. And the libraries we used in this analysis is, as always, use the pandas. And I introduced a new library called the NumPy libraries for mathematical calculation, but we are not going to go too deep into the NumPy library. We're just going to use some simple math operations inside of here. You can also read up on NumPy. Then we use the matplotlib library and a library that comes with Python called the datetime library. This will allow us to convert from objects to dates. Then with the matplotlib, we use the inline, so we don't have to type all the time. So once you've imported the library, the next thing you're going to do is to import your data. Let me go over to where my data is stored. So my data is stored inside of, let's go over here. Go to document. So my data is stored inside of my C drive. Then we'll go to the user. Inside of user, there is the dev folder. Then inside of that, there is I think it's notebook. Inside of notebook, it's stored inside of my C files. So it depends on where your folder is. It's going to depend the location your files are stored. So inside of that, it's stored inside of the data by company, the data for the by company. Then you are going to see all your data here. Okay, this is all the data for this company from 2020, from April 2020 down to March of 2021. So this is the data, this is the scope of our analysis. So we are going to import all our data. So once you import your data, you have to check through all of them to make sure that they are in the exact order and the exact format you want them to be in. So that's what I'm going to do. I've written it down here. So what you will do in your own scenario, you change the file location. Okay? So this is where it's stored inside of my laptop, inside of my computer. Yours will be like this, so you have to change the location, the file path. So that's what you are going to do now. As I'm typing this one that I'm typing, you will be changing the file paths. So basically just going over all the data and making sure that it is the exact amount of rows and column. Say top 10. Okay, I need to run this first. That's true. I need to run this, then run this, then run this. Olivia, are you here? You've not opened the workbook. Okay. it might take some time to import based on, but it's much, the file is much, so it might take some time to import. Okay, so you are going to do this for all of this, okay? All of these data you imported, you are going to make sure that they have consistent columns. What do I mean by that? If this one have 10 columns, right, all of them should have the same column, because what you are going to do, all these data fit in together. So the first one is for April, the second one is for May, March, and so on and so forth down till the last one. So all of these data, they will be combined and merged together. So you have to make sure that they have the same columns. Or you have to make sure, if you are going to use join, you have to make sure that there's a column that you can use to connect them. If you are going to use concatenate, you have to make sure that they have the same numbers of column, which we are going to use. What we are going to do is we are going to do concatenation. So basically, we are stacking the columns together, right? And yesterday I told you that if you are concatenating based on the y-axis, that means you are putting them on top of each other, you have to make sure that they have the same numbers of rows. This is marker. Where's the marker? I'm going to say the same number of column. I'm stacking them together. They have to have the same numbers of column. Let's see if I can get the marker. So what we'll be doing for this example is to stack the information together. Okay? So this is one of this data. This is another one. And to stack them together, you have to make sure they have the same numbers of column. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's what I'll be doing now. Hope you have imported yours. Are you still importing? Good. 5. Okay. Similar. Good. 6. Okay. So pay attention. So what you are going to do next to make sure that all of this data you imported have the same numbers of column, okay? Because you are stacking them together using the concatenation. You do it one by one. You copy it. This is what you will do. If I'm you, that's what I will do. All of them are in the same location, right? So I'll just get this part. It will be the same for all of them. Copy this part down to the ending. Paste it on all of them. Paste it on all of them. And all I will be changing now will be just this part. Are you done, Olivia? Your location is not showing. Why is your location not showing? Did you click? This is where you click. Once you go to the part in your file manager, click on that top part to bring up this stuff. That's what you are going to paste here. And it's not showing. Okay. You copy this first. You paste it in. Then you just have to copy them one by one. Or, better still, it's Everything is the same except for the month and day. So you type those on in. You can copy one, just to make it faster for you. Just think of a way to make it faster. What I'll do, I'll copy this part first, replace everything for all of them, then copy this other part. What I'll be doing, I'll just be changing the year and the month for all of them. That's it. It's not, even for this one, for this particular one, you don't even need to change, since you have half of the data, you don't need to change the year and the month. You just need to change this first half, this part. So that should be easy enough to do. Are you guys done with that? Have you imported all of them? Why is your tax so many? Why they put so many things here? So what I did, copy. Once you are done, press Shift Tab. Sorry, Windows and Tab. That's where you want to go to copy. Windows and Tab. And besides, you don't need to copy all the time. Let me show you what I mean. You don't need to copy, go copy, go copy. This is what you should have done. Have you copied this first part?
Yes.
Have you replaced for all of them? Where's the file? This is it, Abi. Is this your location? This is not your location now.
The one that I copied that.
This first, you copy this part. Go back to here. Go to. You're not going to replace everything from here down to here. Control V. So you are going to have to switch this back to /.
Okay, this.
The slashes are different. I told you yesterday now. The slashes are different. Once you've gotten this part, what you are now going to do, just copy everything from here. You are going to replace all of this. I'll just copy everything from here down to here. And so, see? And for all of them, I'm just going to keep just pasting it because everything else is the same except for this part. That's what you are going to do for all of them. And it will work because the only part that is different is this part that is different. So that's what you do for everything. So you are done.
Why not delete this place or should leave this?
Leave that part. It's the same thing on your own and my own. So no need to change that one. So who is done? Who is done? Yeah, morning, welcome. You always come in late. I've noticed it always. Eh? You used to enter a road. What you are doing, you will start coming when it's time. Eh? That's what you used to do, Abi. You will start coming when it's time. And you know there will be traffic or one or two things. So when you need to start coming before time, maybe 30 minutes before. And when you get here, we'll get here maybe by 9:50. Instead of coming exactly 10, and you're going to get here 10:15. Because it's recurring. Okay, that is what we are doing. We are working on this project. You were here yesterday now. So continue from where we stopped. I think you should have up to this point. You should have up to this point. Comes pre-installed on your own system. So if you are not following up or you cannot type fast, there's a already completed one on your system. So what you'll be doing, just change, make sure you change the location here. You just be running what we are doing, Then you follow up. When you get home, you can type it out. You cannot be very fast. We need to finish this today. Okay, so change the location, the file location, because yours will not be the same as my own. Yours will not be the same as mine. We have to change this. What we did yesterday now. So do that. Then if you want to work with the completed one, just run it. You see what we are doing. I'll be explaining to you, be running it. Or if you can type very fast, you follow up with me. Who has finished that so that we can move on? But this is one of the most important parts I think would cause a lot of issue for. Are you doing this? Your own is still loading. How are you opening your own? Is it through the navigator? Don't use the navigator, use direct. Don't use navigator again. Go direct, type Jupyter. Jupyter, click on it to open a terminal, then it bring you to here. Navigator takes too long. Look at the arrow now. Look at the arrow. See open your mind's eye and look at it. Where is the arrow? This is the arrow. I think this is one of the arrows. I don't know if it's the only arrow that we have. Where's your... It's not working. It's not working. Why is it not working? Where's your... You've run it gave you error. Okay, you have to run this one first. Have you run this one? Have you run this one? I think it will work this one. Invalid what? Are you done? Invalid escape sequence.
Yes, I miscopied something, so I could not even continue.
Invalid escape sequence. What's the point? Slash C from line 5. Where's 5 here? Yes, not sure. Double slash. Where's that double slash coming from? Look at this. You did not change some.
Okay.
Is that
I thought using glasses.
you are not seeing?
I already have a bad eye.
Go and buy glass now. You want to manage bad eye. You don't want to use glass. Eh? They say it will not make you look fine, Abi.
It's not even about this. I've tried it,
It doesn't fix your eye. It helps. It's like you're wearing
it doesn't help me.
it doesn't change the eye, it just helps you to see. Where's this one coming from? Where's that file location? Everything should be there. Yeah. See this? Let's go back. Line 5. save document slash files. There's no space between file, company and files. How are you making this mistake? I know you copied everything just now. I don't know how the mistake is coming from.
I think I said I overcopied your.
I see the over copy. Try.
I think I'll just repeat all of us.
Let's see. Dietary.
Your homework.
Let me check. Yours did not work too. I own did not work too.
This is it.
Yours worked. Huh? Oh, so you did not copy something correctly. Let's see. Okay. Let me look at this further. Or better still, instead of switching it up, let's just do this instead. Put a arrow at the front here. Control V, placing your arrow. Yeah, so it reads it. Then between this one and this one, where's the first backslash? Where's your backslash? Just copy this. Copy everything from here down all the way to here. Just replace everything from here. Look at the slash, copy from the slash. That's where you are going to copy from. Yeah. This one is longer. What a beg you. Chai. You pasted the same thing twice. Why? How you do that?
My eyes.
Go and buy glass. So. Go and buy glass. Cannot be managing eye that does not want you to manage it. At least that you'll be able to see very, very well. If that's what you need. I know it doesn't fix it, but at least if you're able to see now, you know enter go to one of these days. But you used to see far.
I want to.
You see far, but you don't see something that's close.
Yes.
You have a far-sighted. You get glass. It does not work. Let it work first. Let's see what the issue is now coming from now. No such file. What's not to be so? No, up to all day, but which one is this one? 2010. Where's this coming from? This is not changing. I copy this. For some are like this, and it not change. It cannot change one. 2010, 20. Okay, this one. I did not change this one. I did not change this one. I did not change this one too. Okay, I think it should work now. It's working. Did it work? It has worked. Okay, so let's move. So if you know you can't type fast, just use the completed one after you've done changing this. So what you do, you go through each and every one of them to check the columns. Okay, I'm not going to go through everything because I've already done that. You check the columns. This one have ride ID, rideable type, all the way down to casual members. You are going to do that for all of them to make sure that since we are stacking them together using a concatenation, we have to make sure that the columns are the same numbers so they can easily stack together. And also, you are going to check the data types. Okay, the ride ID, each of these column have their own data type. We have object, 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 float, 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 object. So let me check, I think 21 and 2103. Let's see what that gives us. Object, 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 yes. Let's check 2005. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, you can see it's a bit different. Object, 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 integer, object. So in this example, objects, I think in this example, everything from, where's my mouse? Everything from here, from this 04 down to 11, have a particular structure the data was created, the data type. They all have object, 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 then they have this integer object, okay? So we are going to merge all those ones first. Then we will now have to convert from this one that is integer, from integer to an object, before we now merge all of them together. So they will be uniform, okay? As the reason we are looking through the data type. Since we are going to merge, everything has to be the same type. So let's do that. So you're going to put in your findings. You want to put a note in Jupyter. You go to switch from code to markdown, and you're not going to type. You cannot type here. So trip data underscore 2020-11 the type. So this is basically a report. So you can write your notes as you find them. ID is not an object. Hence, we need to first concatenate this data set, then collectively convert it, collectively change it, change to an object before converting back. Okay, sorry, before concatenating all data sets. I don't want to type this in here. So how do we concatenate? If you remember, data frame equals to pd concat. And now I'm not going to type this. I'm going to use the already existing one. I don't want to type this. So if you go over this, you see all the data types from 2020 of April down to November. I'll concatenate them first. Once I'm done concatenating that, I will, I think the one having issue was start, okay, let's go. Start ID and I think end ID too. Start station ID and end station ID were the two ones that was having issues. The data type was different. So we have to convert those two to objects. I told you yesterday that objects are, in this case of pandas, are regarded as strings. I know I said it yesterday. So let's convert this to strings. Start. As I'm doing it here, I hope you are running it on your own end. Hope you are running it. If you cannot write fast, there's a computed version of this there too. So run those ones. Say, so now we are going to convert this to string. We use one of the methods to convert this. Dot apply. This is one of the methods using NumPy. I'll show you the other method so you don't have to think too much about this. So I'll show you the actual method that we've learned before so you don't have to worry about NumPy too much. You can just straight up convert this to a string using the string function. Remember that normal Python, if maybe you have a number you want to convert to string, you can use the string function. Then you can convert integer, string to integer using int, integer to string using string, right? This is the function, okay? So to use it inside of this apply method of pandas, you just put the function here, and what it does in the back end, every single row inside of this end station ID is going to change from what it was, which is, I think this was float, to string, which is also an object. What's the question? Ask away. Which place? This part. Did you run this? Did you run this part? You will not run it before. How you want? Let's see. That's where the issue is going from. Okay. Let's go. Yes.
Can I check back on that tomorrow?
For the fuel?
Yes.
We'll check back. They've not notified me yet, so I will update you. Just leave it there. Will they steal the fuel?
When they should do shift.
When did the shift is to end? Is it 12? 12. Okay. I'll update you now. So you can see now it has been changed from what it was, which was integer, to objects. So now you do the final concatenation, which is to join all the data together to one. Stack all of them together to one data. Share is equals to PD. So you are going to add the bike, the data frame, the one that has all 6 of those data, including the remaining ones, which is data trip dash 2020 dash 12 all the way to 2021 01. If you notice, I used to copy and paste a lot. You should do that too to make your work faster. Okay, so we have 12, 21, 01, 02, and 03. I think that's everything. Let me confirm. Yes, that's everything. So we can look at our bike share. Okay, so everything is properly imported now. Now we can start our data cleaning and any other thing we want to do. Yes? What's the meaning of EDA? Data exploration, exploration and data analysis. Exploratory data analysis, that's what it stands for. You are looking at the data. You're just going through the data to see what you can find from the data, what you can understand, look for errors in the data. You're just exploring the data. You're not doing deep analysis yet, but you're just exploring to understand the data. Okay, so one of the things we'll do is up to you actually. You can check for duplicates. Things that you can do, check for duplicates, check for null values, and so on and so forth. So we'll start with checking for null values. So this function basically counts all the null values we have for each of the column. Your data is not defined. Is your data not defined too? What is not defined? Did you run from the start? There's no way you ran from the start that to be telling you not to find. Oh, there's no 08. Did you delete anything? There's no 08 here. There's not. It is not. It is not here. Sure you not delete anything? Okay, this column that has null value, you want to, what you do normally with this column, you ask if these values are needed in the first place. Okay? So for example now, in this particular example, the start station and the, let me look at the objective very well. Let's confirm something. Understand the main. Okay. So if you want to understand the pattern of driving, right, between customers, between casual and annual, you need to understand where they start, where they end, to get the total distance they travel normally, the total amount of time they spend using the bike. So without this information, if the start station is not there and the end station is not there, you will not really be able to calculate their distance travel and so on and so forth. So even this end lat, this latitude, you know where they start, you don't know where they end. So this information would affect your analysis. Okay, these things has to be there. But you will be calculating distance traveled. Okay, you also be calculating the stations where you want to know the location where they used to get their transition normally. So these are important for your analysis. So it's either you remove them so it will not skew analysis in the wrong direction, or you get them to provide this information for you, because this is key. This information are key to your, especially this end, this latitude, give you the distance traveled. This one give you the location. So these are very important for analysis. So you have to either remove them or get a way to fill them in. What we are going to do, since we don't have a way to fill them in, we have to remove them. To do that, use the drop. We're able to count the null value inside of each of this row. Now we have to drop, we have to delete them. Bike share. Dot drop empty values. Drop NA as empty values. Set in place goes to true. You can also confirm if it was actually dropped. So I'm going to rerun this again to confirm if there's still null inside of this. So there's no more null value. The next thing you want to remove now is duplicates. So you check for duplicates. Check for duplicates. Use the dot duplicates, duplicated, to check. You want to check before you delete, or you can do anyone. You can delete duplicate all at once. It's good you check. To check for duplicates is this. The same data frame dot check if it's duplicated. So it's going to return if there are duplicates. Okay, there are no duplicates. But if there were duplicates, you use the, if you've done the data cleaning assignments, you would know this function, which is the drop duplicates. Okay. So remember, if you want to implement that duplicate to remove permanently, put in place. Because now it's showing me the equals to true. So that's how you remove duplicates. Let's see. Started that, ended that. Okay. Okay. So we need to we need to measure the time, right? We need to get the time. Let me look at this stuff. Straight up. Bike, store, bike share. Ride, dates. Okay, our start and end date are in their text, okay? So if I say, okay, calculate the difference between the start and the end date, and they are both text, you can't really do that, right? So you have to convert them to dates, to a date or usable date time that we can work with. And to do that, we use the datetime library, which comes along with Python. So let's do that. So we are converting the start date and the end date. So this will be for the start date. Just copy this. You know why I'm reassigning it to itself, Abby? You know I'm reassigning this back to the start date. Abby? I'm asking a question now. Do you guys know? You're not answering me. So you know. Okay. Okay. So date time, it converts the date from text to the date in the date time data type, right? Once he has converted it, what am I going to do with it? Am I just going to convert and leave it there? No, I'm going to now reassign the new date in date time to each of the rows. So look at this example. This is a start date. It's in text. This function will convert it to datetime type. It will assign it to fill this particular row. Similarly, we'll do it for all the rows. That's why I'm reassigning it back. If I don't reassign it, it will convert, but it will not do anything. We'll just convert and leave it there. That's why I'm reassigning it. So this function called pd.toDatetime takes in the column that has the date. Then you can set, these are extra parameter. This one does so that the day comes first. Then these errors, set it to, there's different options you can set it to. Let's see, okay. The errors, there's different option. The default is raise. What do I mean by raise? So this is basically what happens. If it gets to a date and that date is maybe, let's say the date is not a correct date, okay? Maybe it's a number 2 or number 1.3. That's not a correct date. So raise, what raise to do to just stop the code and tell you that there's an error there. You go and check your data frame. But what this course does, it sees the error. Then if it's not a date, it's not going to put not a date that's instead of giving an error and stopping your code, it's just going to put a placeholder, not a date there. Whenever it sees an error, or you leave it empty, blank. If it sees a variable that you cannot convert to datetime, you just leave it blank. That's where this error comes in. So if you leave it by default, if there is a mistake there, it will bring up an error for you. So the QoS is the best when you're working with data set that you don't want to have to be changing everything. You don't have to look at it, waste too much time there. So let me choose this one to end it. Ended at okay. Are you seeing it? Do you know what I showed you just now? You know what I showed you just now, Abi? What did I show you? Eh? Yes.
Is it an error?
This it's not an error, it's a warning. It's a warning, user warning. Passing date in this format was specified. So it's a warning, it's just a warning. The formats, maybe the formats for the way the date was, it's a bit different from what I'm telling you to do. Like if I'm saying day first, it's a bit different. So it's warning me that this might truncate, might change, maybe the date had time, maybe the date did not have an hour time and so on and so forth. It's not going to automatically add its own. So it's a warning. It's not a, if it's an error, it will not work. Or if it's a warning, it will just show you the warning. Okay, so let's go back to the bike store. So what we also want to know is the time, okay? We need to know, when we are doing our analysis, since we are trying to figure out how these guys, Kajapo and Anapo use it, we want to know the days, the time, the hour they spend working with the bike, the days they spend working with the bike. So our current data set does not have the day they took the bike, the hour they took the bike. We only have like just the full daytime like this as it is now. But we want to break it down into days. We want to categorize by days, by hour, by what else? By month. Okay, so we have to do that. We have to convert these our dates. We pick any of them. We can pick the start date or the end time. Right? You can pick it that they started at when they took the bike, or you can pick the ended at time. I think all of them is in the same day, so you can pick any of them, but they have to be uniform. If you are working with the ended at date, you use just the ended at for all of them. Working with the started at, you use just the started at. So we are going to use the started at. So I'm going to get the hour, create a new column called hour. In that column, I'm going to say bike share. Started at, okay. If you want to learn Python, let me give you a quick one. You have to go beyond what I'm teaching you here. Python is very, very broad. If you want to pay to learn Python, say they should teach you everything and you not do any other work, you will be like a 6 months to a 1 year course just to learn only Python. Okay? So what you need when you are learning any programming language is case dependent. If I want to build a mobile app, what I will learn in Python will be different from what you will learn in Python if you want to do this analysis. So you have to go for exactly what you want. In the same time, if I want to build a machine learning model, the library I'm going to use is going to be different from if I just want to do simple analysis, which we are doing now. So it's case dependent, depending on what you are going to do. You just need to learn more. That's why I gave you the framework, the bed, the foundation, and I also gave you for what we came here for, which is data analysis. You have to still go further. Okay? It's something I heard, and it's what makes you different is not the skill you have, because there's so many data analysts. The skill set that you build around that skill that you have that will make you different from every other person. So you have to build yourself around this data analysis, not just learn just this part of data analysis. You have to go beyond this and learn other things that will complement what you are doing. I mean now, in data analysis, when it comes to presentation, because I have knowledge on graphic design, I know how to structure presentations to make it look very, very nice. So you have to learn other things in addition to this. So we are working with hour and we're also working with day. There's a function called hour that comes with pandas. Okay, it converts a date and gives you just the hour. That's why you see I'm using x dot hour to get the day. There's a function called day name. From a date, you can get the day, the name of the day name, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I had to go and search for these things. Okay? No one taught me this one, so I had to go and search for these things, because they cannot teach you everything when it comes to, especially Python as a programming language. You cannot learn everything. You have to search based on what you need at that particular point in time. Even the person that made Python by now, because Python, you can make the program noise, another person is adding things to it, and you don't like it. Before you close your eye, someone has added like an entire new feature to it that you are not even aware. So you have to keep learning. That's the process. It's a learning process. If you don't want to learn, that means you don't want to do anything. Let's run this. My laptop is slow because of my space. Yes? 1-0 attribution error. Let's see. Invocation of values and service. Go down. Hey, you know where your error come from? You know. I've seen your error, but you don't know where the error is coming from. Let me tell you the error. String, you are still working with objects, and me, I've converted my own to date time. Just you are still working with string. So go back and convert yours from string back into an object, okay? Go and do this. You've not done this part. That's why you're having this issue. Check your data if the start data and the end data are in date time. It's in date time. This should work. Run it. Did you run it? Click it again. Let's run it. Let's run. Shift enter. Shift enter. Let's see. So the next part, what we are going to do now is to get the average. Just work, Abi. Is it the same error? You work, Abi. You did not run it, sir. You didn't run it. You did not run it from the start. You didn't run this one. Yes, you did not run this one. You thought it was run, but you did not run it. So that's the issue you're having. Okay, what we need next, we have the days, the month, and the day. So we can check activity based on this day now. So what we also need is the time that was spent. The time that was spent riding the bike. We want to know the time. From the start time to the end time. We want to know how many minutes or what are we working with in this example? Okay, working with minutes. How many minutes was spent riding the bike on average? So let's do that. Get total ride. So we are going to create a column for total ride time, okay? To do that, we will need a function called time delta. Time delta means change. You know what delta means now? Change between a particular variable. So we are going to utilize the time delta formula to minus the start date from the end date. We are not going to minus it normal. Okay? We're going to use the time delta. To get that, we'll say, I think we already imported this. So we are going to import from datetime, import time delta. So there's so many functions inside of these libraries. So whenever you are working on anything, what I would advise you as a data analyst, as a modern data analyst, before you start to go deep, use ChatGPT to make your work easier, okay? Then once you've done with ChatGPT, you now modify it based on the knowledge you already have. It will make you 10 times faster. Make analysis 10 times faster. They say a junior developer that uses AI very well is better than a senior developer that does not know how to use AI. And it's actually true. You are going to subtract the end time from the starting time. I hope all of us know how to use ChatGPT here. Who does not know how to use ChatGPT? You know, you don't know. You don't know. Eh? Olivia, you will teach her how to use ChatGPT. When?
Yes.
You can. When do you have time? When do you have time? So you are the one. You are the one teaching. So you are the one that will set time. She will not conform to your time. So you give her a time that you can teach her. Then when you are done teaching her, she will buy you big capuchon. Why is this thing so slow? Just copy this. So this is how we convert it from the result I'm going to get. Let me see if I can show this result. Let me comment this out. Let me see if I can show the current date time I'm going to get. Okay. So this is what I'm getting right now. I'm getting in days. Okay. This is what I'm getting for this. If I subtract this two, I'm getting the days and the time. But I just want to get the minutes, get it in minutes. That's why I am going to divide this by the time delta. Time delta in minutes. In minutes. Minutes. So run this. Okay. 10 minutes on minutes. Why is start this? It's not defined. Okay, so you can see now it's in minutes. Now we can reassign. Is it not total right time? Okay, total right total. Shy. All this small thing they do. Some people too do. Let's change this to total right time. Okay. Now we convert it to 2 decimal points. That's fair. Equals to right share bottom. What's the issue? Oh. It was already converted and I'm still converting. So let me check something. Right share around equals to below. We should have worked on this. Okay, I think it's okay now. So we have our total ride time. So we want to calculate the total distance. We know the time it traveled. Okay, we want to calculate total distance too. That's also an important metric for us to work with. So we are going to use a formula called the half sign formula. So going forward as an analyst, you might need to learn some new formulas. Okay? Even if you're a financial analyst, there are some formulas you learn. Depending on your niche, you have to learn different formulas depending on what you are going to focus on. So there's a formula called the half sign formula to calculate the distance. If you know the longitude and latitude of the start and the end location, you can calculate the distance traveled. So that's what we are going to do. So do we have time? I think we still have time. Something. For each ride, we're going to get distance traveled for each ride. Distance. So we are using the half sign formula, and we are going to use the math library. Then we are going to take in the course. We are going to import course sign square root and the arctan. You can also calculate this. You know the formula for cos, square root, and all those things. You can also calculate this manually, sine, cos, and square root. But I don't want to calculate this manually, so I will use the formula. The formula basically have the the normal. You know the formula for cos. What's the formula for cos? I mean, it's degree divided by something. I've forgotten it. What is it? I say calculate cos. Maybe if I have cos 40, there's a way to calculate it now. Cos 40 degree. There's a way to calculate it now, Abi. Yes. There's a formula to calculate for. Like if I say calculate the cos 45 now, for example, there's a way to do it now, Abi. So normally you can use the form, you can do direct method, Abi. You can do it directly now. You know, before they teach you how to use the calculator, press calculator, you used to calculate it with hand. No, even without triangle, there's a way to calculate. I know triangle that you use, you now get one, say yeah, two. That one is down, yes. But there's a way to calculate if, with special angles that are not with those 40 degree, 50 degree. Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a formula for that. So you could have you can use that here, but we don't want to use that. That's why we are importing this uh, cos, sine, square root, and so on. So now we just have to know the angle and put it inside, and it automatically calculates for us. The formula has already been written down in this smart library. It doesn't just have this formula; it has more formula. So you can read up this smart library to learn more about it. So, you don't want to read. You have to read now. You think you just... It's not like that, too. It's not what? They not tell you, eh? The school you are going to, you don't need to read. Did I even import read and do not? There's a whole lot to read, and there's a whole lot to practice. On average, after learning the foundation, it takes another month of deep practice to build it up. And you'll be very, very good at it. As you finish now, you not just say, I'll finish. Data analysis. You need another month of deep practice, let's say 4 hours a day. So strengthen yourself on it. But anything that you start this and you stop, you just, as soon as you are done with this, you stop your data analysis and you keep it at the back of somewhere. Sure, the knowledge will still be there, but when you come back to it, it'll be like you're almost relearning everything. But at least now you know where to relearn. Okay? The only advantage of it now will now be you know where to relearn from, where to start from. As opposed to someone that did not get this, you have to start figuring out this roadmap. But if as you are done learning, you keep going at it, you just keep going, just keep getting better and better and better. Another thing you will do is apply it. Look for ways you can apply it, even if your own personal life. Create a finance, track your own finances. Create a dashboard for your personal finance. Collect data of your finance. If you have a small business, collect data of your business. Customer, when they used to purchase, the product they used to purchase a lot. Collect data and use it for your own self. If you know anybody that has business, apply it on their business. It's not just to learn. It's not just to wait for work all the time. At least those things now you can. There's a way, if I take data from his business and I don't want to use his data directly, his information that is everything about his business directly, there's a way you feed that data to AI, tend to change the data. Okay? It will not be the same record. Then it's like almost swapping the data and changing the name. no one will know it's this person's personal business information you're using. You can also put that in your own portfolio as an extra job for your own portfolio. Okay, so this app sign, let me just type everything. I know what's stressing, so I have to copy that. Okay, so the way this app sign formula works, it takes in the latitude and the longitude for the start location, then it gets converted to radian. It's in degree. It was given to us in degree. If you look at this, let's see if I can see it here. It's given to us in degrees. Where is it? It's given to us in degrees, okay? So we convert it to the radian value for the latitude, the longitude, and longitude, okay? Then we'll subtract the end location latitude from the start location latitude, the start location longitude from the start location latitude. We're going to get the final longitude and latitude. Then with that longitude and latitude, we're going to put into this formula. Okay? Sine longitude divided by 2 raised to power 2 plus cos the start latitude times cos the end latitude times sine the longitude divided by 2 squared. Okay? So this is the formula. Just read the formula. No, then to explain formula to you, you can read the formula. And a better way to understand this formula, if as a personal note, what you do, this is the name of the formula. Left on Shabby to explain this formula to me. Break it down for me. But what you should know now is that the formula is used to calculate the distance. When you are given the longitude, the latitude for the start location and the end location, you can calculate the distance using this formula. So when I pass in my data frame into this, that means I'm going to pass in this entire byte store data frame that has all of this information. Then I'm going to extract the start latitude, the start longitude, the end latitude, and the end longitude. It's going to enter into this formula, do all this calculation, then return to me my distance. This is a function, okay? Yes? Yeah, it's a constant. The radius of Earth is constant. The Earth is getting smaller or bigger. It's in kilometer. I think it's kilometer. The radius of Earth in kilometers. That's the constant for it. You can check it. Browse it. Let's see if it's correct. Okay. Now we are going to create a column that will take in the calculated distance. Call the column distance. And now we are going to apply this formula to our data frame. So the name of that frame is bike share. We are going to apply this formula to our data frame, passing half sine. Then the formula should be applied on the column, so we have to specify which axis the column axis is equals to 1. So we can also round this up, because this will come out in multiple decimal points. We can round this up to 2 decimal points. Since we are working with 2 decimal points in this example, is equals to dot round to 2 decimal 2. Let's wait for this to load. Why is it taking this long? Have you run up to this point? Run it on your own up to this point. There is a shorter way to do this. This is what I'm doing now. So I'll give you an assignment. Figure out the shorter way to do. Let me finish. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, let me just copy this. So this month has a mapping of the year number to the year name, but there's definitely a shorter way to get this. I think there's a library that does that. So what I want to do, I was waiting for this thing to load, so I'll show you. If you run yours, you must have run your own. It must have worked by now. I don't know why my being slow. You will see that, okay, it's up now. You will see that the month is in numbers. If you try to plot a graph of month to, let's say, distance traveled, a bar chart, you will see distance in numbers. The month is 1. Doesn't make too much sense, right? It wants to be the month name. That would be more visually appealing. So we have to convert each of this one from 1. If you say 1, change it to January, and so on and so forth. So there's a shorter way to do this. So what your assignment is to figure it out and do that. I will check that on Thursday. Instead of going through this method of creating a dictionary of months and then using the map to loop over it, where it says 1, it changes to January, where it says 2, it changes to February, where it says 3, March, and so on and so forth. There's a function that does this directly, that I don't have to be doing this, writing 1 to January, 2 to March, and so on and so forth. So that's an assignment. I think that would be the graded assignment for this Python. That's the graded assignment. That's the assignment that I will grade. Yes. The shorter way to do this, what I have to see. Look for the function, and it should be in one line. Everything should be in one line. It should not be 2 separate lines. Okay. I'll grade this one over 5, and I'll give you another one that will be over 5 too. So I will be expecting this one on Thursday. And I'll give you another one by the end of the class. Send it on Telegram. I'll be expecting that one on Thursday too. Okay, let's look at this. Now we have everything we need. We have the month's name, the distance, the total ride time. So we have everything we need now. So let's let's start the visualization part of this project. This is more visualization. Okay, so
So how do we wait to change
hmm?
master code?
if you want to write, if you want to write, you want to put a message there, you change it to Markdown. If you want to write code, you change it to code. Yes.
Sorry, and this calculating the right distance and you for that math what sign greater than the rest. So what if let's say you to calculate something different? How do you get to
You know the formula, Abi.
now for this one, this is the formula to calculate it. Okay, now we're calculating distance and this is the formula to calculate distance. What if we're calculating something like speed? How do I get the formula?
You know the formula for speed, Abi. You just input the data now. You just input data. And in this example, what we did, we know the formula for this half sign. We simply just inputted the correct data to those places. Let me scroll to the top. So we know this formula. Just what we did now, we passed in this entire data frame. That means this entire table is what we passed in into this formula using this apply. So now inside this table we have the start latitude, the end latitude, the start latitude, the start longitude, end latitude, end longitude. So we just take what we need from inside the table and do our calculation based on that. It's just normal function. You understand function, you should be able to understand this. We're just taking what is inside of this table and utilizing it to get our final result. That's why I see return. So what is returned now? We can now assign it to this table. So this new, this new column we created. So for each of the row, we do the calculation for that half sign distance. We will assign it to the distance row here. For each of them, that's what we are doing. So basically what we are doing here is we take this, do the calculation, then assign the value for this row to that distance, doing it for all of them. That's basically how it works for any other formula. Say, let me give an example. Say we wanted to multiply this and this, the day and the month. We do the multiplication, this times this. Then after we get the answer, we now create a new column like this. Then assign that value to that column. That's just it. So you are simply applying this formula to this data frame. Then any answer you get, it will now be applied to each of the rows. Okay? So any formula can work. You just need to know how to write it out. Map. What's the meaning of map? Okay. Let me just do an imaginary sum. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say this is March, January. What's up for February? And let's say April. Okay. Okay. So this is the way the map works. It takes what you have. Let's say in this example we have our months. If you can see, the month is in numbers. Okay. We passed in the month in number. We have a dictionary that has both months and the number of the month and the corresponding name, Abi. So we have a dictionary with everything the way it's supposed to be. Okay, the way the map works, it takes the value for this table under this month, for example. So what it does is, anywhere it sees this number, it's just mapping it like this. Just doing a map. Okay, I see this 4. 4 represents April, so it do the mapping. I see 2 represents February, do the mapping. Does the mapping, that's what it does. Yes, the same thing. That's the way it works. Okay. Okay. The first thing we are going to do, I don't think there's a need for this, but let me just put it. Someone asked me about how to set color. Yes. So this is how you do it. You set the style first. So if you had gone through that Seaborn, you see different style you can set it to. This is the default style. If you don't set it, this one will be the default you are going to get. I don't think I'm not creating Seaborn. Let's go to the top. Let's see. I not import. Oh, I'm not importing it. Let's import it. Import. Go to your top. Import Seaborn as SNS. Okay, it's there on your own. Okay, more than have it. Why are we using Seaborn? What's an idea? Is it because you just like Seaborn? You just like it? Yes, but why are we using it? Is matplotlib not enough? I said it too. Okay, you were not here yesterday. Who was here? Chukwudi. Why are we using Seaborn? Why did we choose to use Seaborn when we had matplotlib? There's a word I used yesterday. The reason we choose Seaborn is an extension that adds more graphs and charts to matplotlib. So it doesn't work separate from matplotlib, it works with matplotlib as an extension. And it's more, the way you create your chart is easier, it's more intuitive than using matplotlib. That's why we use Seaborn. Okay, so in this example, we want to get a bar chart between want to compare the member and the distance traveled. Want to compare, okay, the type of membership we have and the distance they travel. I think we have something like that somewhere. Let's see. So we have the member and the type of distance they travel. Are you a member or casual? And the type of distance, the total distance, the average distance they travel. Let's do that. So I'm going to put this on our x-axis. Member underscore casual. Comma here. Then our y will be the distance traveled. Then you need your data. What data are you working with? We're working with the bike store data. What's the bike store? Bike share, sorry. Has it run on your own system? Try to run it. When I send it take too long. You have to go up to define it. This is what I did just now. That's why I told you to be running it as I'm running it. I'll be seeing all the errors. I have to go define my own just now. How to add it. I have to import it. So the second chart I want to do I want to also know the average time traveled by, I want to compare the average time traveled by uh, casual and annual members. So I'm going to use the average time. I think that would be total time. Total time. Is it total time? Total right time. Okay. So this is the default color palette, and you can change your color by using the palette. Why is this in there's more palette than this. You can check the documentation for more palettes. I don't think my spelling for palette is even correct. Say I used to spell palette. Let's see. This thing is taking too long. How is yours running fast? I think my system is too full. That's why it's taking long like this. It's filled up. Something else you want to check is the relationship between the time that casual riders used to drive. Okay? So what you're trying to understand is their behavior. What time does casual riders drive? What's the best time for casual riders? What's the best time for members? You also want to check the best month for casual riders, the best month for members. You also want to check uh, the best days for casual riders, the best days for members. And those images what you are going to now use to get your insights and your recommendation from. So let's keep moving on. So from 9. So we're going to work with the hours and the hours on our X, on our so this example we are using the count plot. The way the count plot works, it counts the total numbers of data for each of those like let me use this example now. We have hour, we will count the total number of each of the hours. Say the first hour will be 12. Total numbers of people that book ride around 12. Is going to count it. Then for 1, 2, all the way down to 11 in the night. So what you are going to get is the total number of people that book ride for each of these hours. Okay, that's what you are going to get. That's the way the count plot works. Okay. This one is still loading. The data will be cost of action and the payments. This one should load. Almost done. Let me just copy this stuff. B versus this one is taking too long. Okay. This is taking too long. Whose person on is running? Are you running it? Are you running it? Are you here? Has yours loaded for this graph?
Is he already?
Okay, yours has loaded. Okay. Let me use, I think I'll just use the completed one because this one is taking too long. Okay. So you can see from this one, the comparison between the casual and the members, the annual members, you can see that the members have travel on average more distance than the casual people. So they spend more time on using the bike than the casual people. Then when it comes to ride, the total amount of time they generally ride, the casual people have an higher time using the bike than the members. So what will be your inference based on this? What will you, what will be your insights? Hmm? Yeah, read now, read. Let's move on. Read this other part, the second one. Or you can read from the starting.
However, the second clause proposal right can choose casual bike as sound or right hand and member factors. So you can conclude from the above observation that member riders have short journeys compared to casual ones. Their travel frequency is higher, but transit time is low.
So in simple terms, your members, they tend to use the bike more, right? But their journey are mostly short. So what you would think in mind is, okay, people that are more like the members, people that are around their work, their office, because most people where they go to is probably their office. This, where do you go to most of the times? Where you work now? Most like people that are using the bike more, which are members, they are more likely people that office are closer to their home. Okay? So if you want to run ads, Google can target where you work and where you, they know your house, they know your work. So you run your Google ads based on people whose working place are close to their house. So that's one recommendation you can give based on what you found out just now. Hmm? More, more speed. I don't think so. Our analysis did not talk about speed now, but you can infer that members are riding for thrill, the speed. for sorry, casuals are riding for thrill, but members are more for daily movement. Okay, from this one, which this is the plot, it takes in the x-axis will be hours, then the hue. Let me explain you. Hue simply means for each of this hour, we want to separate it to their own column. That's for each hour, we are breaking it. Okay, we are breaking the total count to casual and members. Okay, casual and member for each of the hour. So if you had a U that has multiple, let's say five different values, it's going to be 5 U colors. Okay, so this one has only 2. We have for the casual, as you can see, and for the member, you can see the color. The casual is blue and the member is red. So from this picture, you can see that the best hour is between, I think it's 8 in the morning to, all of them have almost the same, movement. But 8 is a good time for everybody. From 8 till when it start to peak is around 7. From 8 in the morning to 7 is a good time for riders. But in particular, for some reason, I think casual riders are using the bike by 12 a.m. for some reason. So you have to do further analysis based on this. So as you can see, evening hours, so yeah, you guys should read it. Read the what we got, what we are able to infer.
See a lot of traffic compared to the other time. This is likely because of this timing of member riders. Casual members also find evening as productive to go for a drive. When hours are again busy for member riders due to working hours, casual members are using bikes for rides at midnight somewhere around.
So if you want to get those casual people to become members, you can have like a discount for late night usage. Maybe at night you can, if you are a member, you get to pay less when you are riding at night. Because they tend to, because your focus for this analysis is those casual guys. You want to convert them from casual to member. So you have to cater a lot of your incentive to casual. So similarly, we have another chart. What is this chart showing us? We have members and casuals. You can see on Monday, members are heavy on the bike usage. Tuesday, members are heavy. During the weekdays, members are using the bike up until Saturday, where casual takes over. Casual guys are taking over on Saturday. So, what will you infer from this?
Casual riders are enthusiastic on weekends as they have the highest bike usage of Saturday or Sunday. Member riders have consistent use of bikes on
So, what
weekends.
would be your recommendation from this? What you found out? What do you recommend? If it's your business and you know that casual members are always more active on weekends, and you want to get them to be members to not be riding anytime they come, they'll just pick bike, go pay for that day. You want them to pay for yearly subscription. What would be your recommendation for this? What do you recommend yourself to do? Hmm? Recommend anything? Shoma. Don't know. You probably do something that, uh, let's say, either if you can run in your ads and make a new offer. It says weekend rides. By being a member, you get to get maybe a special package. Let's say on weekends, they do like a get-together party on weekend, or like there's an event that comes in the weekend for bike ride. Maybe like what am I going to call this? This is this competition bike challenge where many bikers just take their bike, they'll be riding around during the weekends. And if you're a member, you get to participate for that event free of charge. You don't get to pay the event fee. So stuff like that, you can do that as a strategy. Similarly, with the name, the same thing. What you notice that you are more active during June, July, August, and September. This is an American data set. So these are summer. These are summertime. So you are active during the summer period. So you will create discount offer or maybe do your marketing campaign to target registrations. If you register now during the summer, you are going to get a 20% discount, stuff like that. Okay, so at the end of the day, you are going to give your insight and your insight, conclusion, and recommendation. I think there's supposed to be recommendation somewhere here. Okay, everything is together. So it's supposed to be your recommendation, not insight. It's supposed to be recommendation. You've already gotten your insights before. It's supposed to be your conclusion and recommendation. So um, you can read it. Just read it out. No need for me to read it. So you can see the conclusion and recommendation you were able to give the stakeholders. Then at the end of the day, once you are done with all of this, you can export this as an HTML file or give them directly access to Jupyter, or you can download it as a PDF. Or it's a bit stressful when you're doing it as PDF. Sure. Try it as a HTML file is better as a slide. I know the second half of the assignment that I'm going to give you guys. This is what you are going to do. Open a GitHub account. Open a GitHub account. I will send you a video on how to do this, but I will not teach it in class. I think it's something that's intuitive. If you know how to use Facebook, you should be able to do this. Yeah, you can do it with your phone. You download GitHub on your phone. But you have to copy this file to your phone. This file. You copy it, you can copy it to your phone. Copy this file. Only this file, only this one, this project, this computer project. The Jupyter Notebook file of this to your phone. Then you are going to upload this file, create a GitHub account. You send it to my WhatsApp once you are done doing this. Create a GitHub account. This will be the other part of your assignment. Create a GitHub account. In your GitHub account, create a repository called Python projects. Projects. Inside the repository, you are going to upload this Jupyter Notebook file there. You're going to upload it there. If you have questions, ask YouTube. It's very, very simple. It's a simple thing to do. It's almost like uploading a profile picture or uploading a file on Facebook. Create a GitHub. This is the website. One, create GitHub account. Two, create a repository called Python projects. Three, upload the project file on that repo. If you have questions, ask YouTube. YouTube is always there. It's very, very simple. Unless you tell me that you don't know how to use Facebook. That's when I will teach you. Okay, see you tomorrow where we will enter. So all of this is expected, this and the one I gave is 10 marks. Expect to see them by Thursday. This one, and you wrote it down, Abi? Did you write the first assignment down? Okay. Get it from him.